Singles is a one move per round double elimination tournament that started with 16 contestants. 4 of these contestants were direct invites, while the remaining 12 were selected from a public entry round of nearly 100 entrants. All 16 contestants start in the upper bracket, where there are no restrictions for moves. Losers of the upper bracket rounds move to the lower bracket, where additional rules may apply. Our first finalist, Santiago, had a flawless run in the upper bracket, defeating strong opponents like Kevin, Nikita, Zimo, and Max to make it all the way to the grand finals without a single loss. Our second finalist, Dabi, wasn't as fortunate. He suffered a loss against opponent Zaranov early on in the tournament in the second round of the upper bracket, dropping him into the lower bracket. However, Dabi has since thrived in the lower bracket environment with bonus rules, knocking out 5 consecutive opponents to make it all the way back to the grand finals. After 4 grueling months of competing, we have finally narrowed the field to 2 finalists. The finals are a best of 3 head-to-head matchups. Each finalist will submit 3 moves, and each of these moves will be used in a head-to-head matchup. The winner of 2 or more of these matchups will be crowned the first winner of singles. The moves will be scored individually, and the outcome of each of these matchups are independent, which means that the sequencing of the moves matters and could affect the outcome of the tournament. After the first matchup is posted, the finalists also have the option to switch the order of their remaining 2 moves.
For me, I have to explain right away. For me, it was a challenging tournament in general because I was making the moves as the competition, was moving on. I didn't have any material before the competition prepared. So, it was like a very intense competition as a whole for me because I was creating every single move every single week.
So I thought when you said that, it was just for the bonus rule rounds. So it's not just that. So every single round, you just came up with it within the week, on the spot.
Yeah, I didn't have a single move. Every single
Wow, that's crazy.
There's not one move on my catalog for the competition that I prepared for longer than 10 days, maybe. Every single move was prepared in less than 10 days, and I'm completely sure about it because I just didn't have anything, basically. This is weird. I'm just going to make a little pause here. Yeah. It's weird that I've been releasing material so fast that I am not I have not been able to judge it myself, to analyze how much I really like them or how much I think that it was a breakthrough or an achievement. I just don't know. I've been doing so much moves.
Yeah, because often when you create, it's only like a couple of weeks or maybe even months after when you look back and you're like, hey, that was a good move. That was a really good move.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the first move is Jacob Black. That's the body one.
Let's go, yeah.
Wait, exactly. So what is that? What is that name? Why is it named Jacob Black?
That's the guy from Twilight, the wolf with the 6-pack.
Wait, is that the character's name or the actor's name?
The character, Jacob Black, yeah. The actor is Taylor Lautner or something like that. But
so it's 6-pack.
It's the name of the wolf with the 6-pack. Yeah, exactly.
That's great. That's great. You came up with that like very recently, right after the last round. Is that right?
Yeah. What I can say is that I did have this idea, this mechanic of pushing the card like this, like that, throwing it like that to the body. But that's it. I just knew that this could look cool doing this, right?
Yeah.
That's all I had in mind, and it was the first move that I went for after starting my work for the final round. Let me see if I remember. I put on the design in one day, then I practiced it for a couple days, and then I filmed it maybe I think I filmed it in the 4th day of those 10 days. I mean, it was very exciting finding the closer for sure. That's what I can say. Like, I didn't expect that mechanic would go as cool as it did, you know?
I feel like the closer is the climax. It's the kind of the point of the move, in my opinion.
It is, and there were many things that I wouldn't have expected. For example, I think that the coolest thing about the move is that the packets are separated, and then they fall in a way that they get to this position on their own. You know, they go like this.
Yeah.
And that's something that I couldn't anticipate. Like, it just happened to work that way, and it looks, in my opinion, very well. So yeah, that was the best moment of working on that move, realizing how well that final mechanic it gave sense to the move. Basically, it gave meaning to the move. So yeah,
because
that was the
I can't imagine how satisfying it must be to find such a fitting closer in such a short amount of time. Because as you know, finding closers could be like a multi-year process even for some moves.
And that closer basically informed me what the opener had to be, because that's why I created the opener like this, because it closes that same way. So as soon as I found that closer, I was like, yeah, I had to open it like that, basically.
Oh, and so you opened it differently and you went back and modified it?
Yeah, exactly, because the closer told me that had to be the opener, basically.
That makes sense. So the next move, 3D ISO, right? 3D ISO. This feels like it's like a packet cut ISO kind of thing.
Exactly, yeah.
So that feels pretty different. So do you have anything specific about the creative process that you want to discuss for this move?
Well, I do have, and it's the fact that this was basically by default. I had to do it this way. There had to be a move that took less time than the others, and it happens to be this one.
Oh!
Yeah. This was 2 days of work. This move was just 2 days of work, design, and then at the next day it was right to film it. And it is definitely one of the most insane things that I've tried to do in general as a artist, you know, just to put a move together and then learn as much as I could from it in one day and then just film it right away. It was wild. It didn't even start as an ISO, really, you know. When I found that first mechanic like this, and the whole thing, it just came together kind of on its own. I was following basically my intuition of, you know, it goes from here to here, then I can go back, and then this packet back here can kind of stand on its own, you know. All of that kind of happened very naturally. And yeah, as I said, then I gave it the ISO, let's say, mindset, and most important, the name.
The name,
that kind of gives, it gives me, you understand what the movie is about when you read the name, you know, 3D ISO, oh, right, that's what it's doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it all came together after I realized that it was an ISO, you know, that it had to be an ISO for it to have, as I said, meaning. Very happy with the moment of the single card going like this and the packet falling and then the closer with the body. I think that's really cool. So yeah, I'm just super proud of being able to take on that challenge and how well the performance came out, because, you know, that was what I was worried. I was really worried about, man, maybe one move will have to have a shitty performance, because, you know, what else am I going to have to? But I managed to nail a good performance with this one, which was the one that had less time on it. So yeah, super proud about it.
Now, finally moving to knife game. Yes, knife game. So, you mentioned this one earlier. Like, is the basic concept of like flipping into each like interval, is that also new, or did you have that in mind for a while already?
The idea in mind comes from a touring routine. Yeah, where the performer does this position with his hands, right?
Yeah.
His cross, and the face goes like this.
Oh.
And he starts moving around like that. So I saw that and I liked it. And it gave me the idea of going like this, basically. Then we get to the final round and I basically try to figure out how could I make it work. Of course, my first idea was creating a similar structure to this.
Yeah.
But I was, of course, first trying to do it in different ways. Then I came to the conclusion that, definitely the most logical thing to work on this is with a straight line, because I had to, in this way I had to repeat the action a few times instead of going in some weird direction. So when I got to that mindset, I realized that it was also a lot like the knife game, basically. And when I thought about that, it was like, all right, so this is the move. The move is like this. The move is doing that. I know it's like I don't know how to say, maybe a weird one, but I think precisely because of that, it's probably on my top 4 of creations for this competition. I'm super proud of that move in general. Yeah.
So this one is approximately 4 days then, right? Based on the math from the first 2 moves?
Yeah, exactly. It was like 4 days, 2 days, and then 4 days for this one as well. And I did end up filming this one on the last day, and yeah, it's a very knacky mechanic to figure out. I do have to say that, going that way, it was very tricky to work on that with so little time. As I say, I will probably be able to do it way faster in a couple months, and it's going to look, very different. Probably.
Yeah, I can imagine it would look insane with more speed.
Yeah, there is a lot of room to make the performance even better, but that's just a matter of time, of course.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing that, like in a couple months, like you said. Has all of your material that you've shown in this tournament, are they all from like over 5 years ago, or are any of them more recent?
The material that I showed, it's mostly from 5 years, and more.
Wow.
Except the third round move, it's also from 5+ years. But the closer, this is crazy. This is really crazy. And this is a message to all the people that are saving material. Because saved material is not at all necessarily good material. Saved material is just saved material. That's it. You can add this mystically sense to the moves being saved. You can add this feeling of, yeah, it's safe, it's so cool, it's mysterious, nobody has seen it. Yeah, maybe, but if it's bad, it's bad.
Okay, so
Yeah,
for
cool.
the first move, is there anything specific about the creative process that you want to mention?
Yeah, no, sure. There is. For that move, the creative process was like, I have like my, let's say, main creative process, where I just grab the cards and start experimenting with grips and stuff, and I just let the cards do their thing and my hands do their things, and eventually I came up with a move. And then I have like other process where I use a specific reference. So
Yeah.
this one was more like I just have this opener for so long, you know, like to start with like this civil grip
Uh-huh.
and do something with it. So I have like this sort of opener, and yeah, it took a while getting there. But then when I had it, I knew I wanted to do something explosive. Was like my main thought. Like this gotta be explosive and fast. All my cuts have like this feel to them,
Mm-hmm.
like this spinny feel to them, even when they're not spinny cuts.
Yeah.
Per se, but they have like that feel. But for clear references, I think it's one of the very few cuts where it's completely original. Like I didn't have a single move using it as reference. Um, Not that I can think of. No.
So, moving on then to the second move. When I saw the name of the move, I was like, okay, I think I know where this is going. Yeah, because
Okay,
I have
yeah.
created a move that I haven't released yet that is also structurally like that, where I do a whole move normally, and then I do it in reverse.
Okay.
But I also,
Cool.
when I pay attention and look closely at your move, the reverse isn't like a perfect reversal, right? You're not
No,
reversing
damn,
every single
exactly.
motion. You're just reversing some important parts to make people feel like it's reversing, right?
Exactly.
Did you want it to get a perfect reversal but couldn't, or did you aim to be
Okay,
aim for it to
okay.
be like this?
Got you. No, totally. It was never the plan on doing a perfect reverse. I actually, in a way, don't like that as much. I mean, it's impressive as hell. Making a move and then reversing it, it's cool. But the thing is, like, creatively, what does that say? You know, okay, you do it and then you undo it, and then what? It's still cool though, and I find it cool, but it's like it's just not like my style. That's it. So what I do in this move is, yeah, the whole reversal point is like in motion. Like you have the packets all going forward at first, and then you have going backwards. So yeah, it's like this motion reversal more than an actual reversal, and that also allowed me to really create something different, in the sense that it's always going to be tough to just reverse a move. You know, it's tough to reverse the grips and all that. It's really hard. So by not doing that, I can perform it even cleaner and with more style. And yeah, I totally took that choice. That move was the last that I recorded, and it was really hard to get it right. Again, like the fourth round move. So many things in the rhythm, pace. If you get the tempo right, the reversal doesn't look as cool. You know, the moment when the packet stops and then gets back.
Yeah.
That's super important. And like as hours go on, I started to feel stressed and just kind of wanted to do the move faster, to end it faster and get the take fast. So I started to realize that when I got to that part, I didn't put the pause and the attention to the reverse motion.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and do it in reverse. And that didn't work. And so many good takes didn't work just because the tempo and the rhythm wasn't right. So yeah, it's like it was so hard to get it right, and I still, even though, don't feel like that's the perfect take at all. But again, I had to submit it.
So for the last one, Apollo, this one, when I first watched it, I was like, he's doing a pharaoh. It's like, what is he doing? It's like, this is very not your style, so to speak.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, so
Look,
was that one recent or is it an old one?
an old as move, man. That's so old, old, really old. That and yeah, the thing with this move is it's one of the only moves that I use like other genre of cardistry.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I'm a packet cutter. I'm super focused on just packet cutting. It comes to my references, like main references, Yang Chang top reference, Sui, Yang Nguyen, and yeah, what happens with this move is I'm so pissed that no one has still come with like a cool how do you say it? Like a cool run of pharaoh moves. Like what there aren't that many pharaoh moves at all. Like a pharaoh in a packet could type of move, not just like a pharaoh and then do a waterfall like waterbend or those stuff that are really cool. But in the middle of a packet could to have a pharaoh, you don't see that as much. So the thing is, yeah, I have this. At first, it was just a packet code. That move, when you split the packets before they get together to create a pharaoh, they just keep going and rotating. But and I have I have on the side this cool concept for a pharaoh move. Where you have like the cards pharaoh like this and just let it slip. So I have like those separate moves. And then I started to realize that when I got to this point here, like man, this is like if I took this other packet, this is like a one-hand pharaoh, you know? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get risky. I'm gonna try to attempt this thing that I'm not really used to do, and I try to make it my own. Like I try to give it somewhat of my style, and this was between this and the 4th round move. They were like always dream moves for me. I've had it for so long. This is another move that I never took the time to practice until just now, and I've never been able to do it until now. So it's so cool. This tournament did push me to finish and master some of my old moves that I never took time to because they were so hard. And also one of the reference is, like I said, Yang Nguyen. He has some of the coolest body moves, like with the chest, with the arms. And I always wanted to do something in the how do you call that? I don't know, this part of the arm.
I guess it's just the arm,
Yeah, like in this part where he do like this type of moves, you know? So I always wanted to use this, and I finally do it.
We'd like to formally congratulate this year's champion, Santiago, on his flawless performance throughout the tournament, and for being the first among many future winners to receive the baton. Now that Singles 2023 has concluded, we'd like to give special thanks to Shivraj and Lars for judging the tournament, the 16 contestants for giving it their all and putting on a great show, and finally, we'd also like to thank everyone that followed us along on this journey. We appreciate every bit of support from all of you. Moving forward, Singles will be a biannual event and will be returning in 2025 for the best to once again prove themselves. We'll see you then.